District 7, vote for Regina Ross, August 8th, 2017, for City Council.
Detroit, I want to be your voice. Not about adding to the problem, it's about fixing and improving the problems. I want to improve neighborhoods, businesses, employment, safety, and education.
Look forward to cleaner neighborhoods, a safer community, jobs and revenue, renovated houses, beautification, plants and gardens, and helping citizens obtain grants. Regina Ross is a community leader for the people of Detroit. District 7, vote Regina Ross for City Council, August 8th, 2017.
I'm Regina Ross, and I approve this message.
If you hear this message, wherever you stand, I'm calling every woman, calling every man. We're the generation, we can't afford to wait. The future started yesterday, and we're already late. We've been looking.
Good morning, Detroit. My name is Marshall Bryant, and thank you for joining us on Empowered Living. So we are a panel of educators. I am one of your hosts, Marshall Bryant. We also have...
I'm Regina Ross, educator.
Good morning, Detroit. Laura Sallin, educator.
Okay, so today we are very, very excited about our show, and we are going to be talking about the needs of the people, and we are interviewing our very own Regina Ross, who is running for City Council.
That's
Yay!
right,
We are excited. Regina ran in the last election, and she was running for Community Advisory Council. So now she's running for City Council. So we are just excited to just be interviewing our own. So before we get deep into the interview, we can't wait to dig in, but
That's right.
we're going to be talking about first this morning some announcements that's going on. So Loris and Regina, do you have anything to share? Any announcements?
I'm going to let you go first, ladies first.
Okay. Of course, I want to tell you in a couple of weeks, August 8th, please vote. Go to the polls and vote. And the other thing is for employment. Kroger's is still hiring. And the city of Detroit has some positions open. The state of Michigan has positions open. And Detroit Public Schools Community District has positions open. So please go to their website and fill out an application, and you'll be working.
Great. Just a quick note, too. The church, Gracious Savior Lutheran Church, which is located on North James Cousins Service Drive. The address is 19484, again, James Cousins Service Drive North. This Saturday will be the fourth and final men's ministry fish fry, and it will be from 12 to 5. They are offering tilapia, catfish, and whiting. All dinners come with spaghetti, coleslaw, a slice of cake, and a drink, all for $10. So again, August 5th, Saturday, from 12 to 5, the men's ministry will be hosting their fourth and final fish fry. Again, the address is 19484 North James Cousins Service Drive. The name of the church is Gracious Savior Lutheran Church. And also on that same note, every second Saturday, the same church, we have a food pantry for the community. And you come by, you get free food from our pantry. That is every second Saturday of the month from 10 to 12. So come on out, and looking forward to serving the community.
Okay, and also volunteers are needed. Volunteers are needed for the festivals. I always, when I run into people in the community, I let them know that whatever they share with me, I always let them know I'm going to make sure that I make the announcements. So I have several announcements to make. Volunteers are needed for the festivals downtown. So I'll have more information at a later date how you get in touch with people, but as of right now, you should be able to go on some websites for the city and see, but they need them for the festivals. Also, volunteers for the poll. for the election. They're needed as well. So I was told about that. And last night I was downtown and I was at Campus Martius at the Great Lakes Food, Art, and Art Festival. It was wonderful.
Really?
Yes, it was really nice downtown. And afterwards, you know, it's always good to kind of walk, you know, through Greektown. You got to do that at least once in the summer, just walk through Greektown. But the festival was really nice. It's going to be going on today. So if you get out of church and you want to just find something to do with the kids or the family, go downtown to Campus Martius. It is really nice. And one of the owners and the vendors that is setting this up is having another one. So they told me to make sure that I announce it when they gave me this. And I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to announce it. So on August the 25th through the 27th, it will be Garlic and Music Festival. And it says 2 stages of live entertainment, gourmet alley featuring garlicky food, craft beer, and summer cocktails, a weekend of tastes, scents, sights, and sounds. So, you know, you whatever you partake in, everybody doesn't always partake in the spirits. But, you know, if you just want to go out and have a good time in the city of Detroit, that's, you know, what we need to promote, and also just keep that family and, you know, that good spirit and vibe going for the city. So it's wonderful the things that's going on. And that festival, let me make sure, will also be in Campus Martius. And again, that will be August the 25th through the 27th.
And when you were talking about that, I was thinking about the garlic crust on pizza. That's good.
So I don't know if you're going on a first time date with somebody, you might not want to.
Bring a lot of mints.
Right.
Bring a lot of mints.
All right. So we are going to go ahead and get started into our interview with Regina. So Regina, can you tell us from the election until now, what have you been doing and focusing on?
Okay. As Marshall was saying, yes, I did win the election for Community Advisory Council person. So I am your community council person. And the things that we've been doing are in the community, and I'll tell you about that in just a second. But because I was doing so much in the community and I saw the need for so much need in the community, I did decide to run for city council. So I am running for city council because I do want to make a difference in the community, a positive difference in the community, because that's what is needed.
Right. Okay. Okay. And you're still a part of the teachers union too as well, right?
Yes, I'm part of the teacher union. I am a union representative with Detroit Public Schools.
Okay.
So we've just received a new contract, so we've
Yes.
been doing things there. It's been up and down.
Fingers
but,
crossed, right?
Yeah.
The fingers crossed that this
Right,
all should go over well this coming school year.
Yeah.
right.
just-
So hopefully,
Yeah.
yes, we will have a wonderful school year this year. We do have a new person in charge of
A new
DPS.
superintendent.
Yes, we have a new superintendent and turning things over rather quickly and rapidly and making some change, and you know.
I'm enjoying some of the moves he's making. Like I said, I don't think that one person or one entity is the cure-all yet for
Right.
DPS, because we have a long way to go.
Yeah.
We have a long way to go, Turner. But I believe Superintendent Vitti is making some of the necessary moves for
change.
For change, that's as long overdue.
Right.
Change is long overdue for
Yeah.
DPS, you know.
Because we've been there for a while at DPS, so we
Yeah,
know that
well,
these
as-
changes are long overdue.
Yeah.
But you know, you think about it. In the past, we've seen changes, but
Well-
not for the better.
Right, like I was saying, I
Yeah.
want to make a positive change
Absolutely.
in the community,
Yeah.
so
Absolutely.
that's what we want with
We've
DPS,
seen,
Detroit Public Schools.
me personally, we've seen a lot of lateral changes,
Right,
but noting, progression forward. I
right,
think these changes now are, in my opinion, are moving DPS forward in the direction we should have been going in 10 to
Years
12 years
ago.
ago. So,
Yeah.
I agree.
yeah.
Have you had an opportunity to speak with him or
No,
start
I haven't
working?
spoke with him yet, so we have to set up an appointment after the
Right.
election. I've been a little
Right.
busy.
Right. I'm hoping to get him in the studio. It's always, cause they're always so busy.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
A lot of times you may speak with them by phone or by email or something, but they have such busy schedules. But it's nice to hear their perspective, because a lot of people, they judge the movements that they make.
Always.
But until you hear specifically what's the motive behind it, then it kind of gives them a breast and a reassurance of this is for the good of everyone.
Right, and I like the idea that he says that he's for the teachers. Teachers are very important, and which they are, because how can you have a school district without the teachers?
Absolutely.
Right.
Teachers, they mold and shape everyone. Whatever curriculum you're in, you had a teacher.
Okay, yes, yeah.
That's true.
All right, so you have a busy, this school year is going to be pretty busy for you. You're
Right.
going to be teaching, city council, and then Carrie's Corner. So how's Carrie's Corner going for you as well?
Right. Before we get to Carrie's Corner, I just like to say that I'm busy every day anyway, so it will just be a continuation.
Right.
But Carrie's Corner is our community group, and we've been working. Let's see, Carrie Corner. Let's see, what year was that? 2005. That's when Carrie's Corner was created. So Carrie's Corner, like I said, is a community group, and what we do is we serve the public. We have clothing drive, so we give them slightly used clothing. Some of the clothing are new, and school supplies. That will be coming up with the school supplies because of the election. I don't have the date right now, but it will be coming up in August.
Okay.
And
Have you solidified a location yet?
we're usually at Ridge Park.
Okay, so it will be at Rouge Park. Okay. very
Right
good.
there.
Looking forward to that,
Yeah,
yeah.
because it's in
Right.
August,
Yeah.
and families are out anyway.
Okay.
So
Right.
so we have the school supplies, slightly used clothing, and toiletries.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
All
Awesome.
right,
Awesome.
so we're getting ready to take a break shortly. When we come back, we'll get more into the needs of the people and talking about some things in the city of Detroit, and also about the election and what's coming up for Ms. Ross, what her views and what she's looking forward to doing for the city. I know you mentioned, before we go to break, I do want to mention this. You said slightly used clothing. Will there be school uniforms for the children? Or
The uniforms that I have, most of them are the yellow, because that's what the yellow shirts and
Tops, yellow
burgundy,
tops.
yeah,
burgundy and,
and
the khaki,
burgundy,
and
right,
the khaki
right.
pants.
But we have a couple more weeks, so maybe we'll get some of the navy blue pants and the
Okay.
white shirts.
Okay, and then I'll try my best to keep an eye out on
Right.
who has some used uniforms where children have
Yeah.
grown out of them.
Right.
And because it's always good, because those uniforms are expensive.
Yeah, and that's what we do.
And the
Yeah.
kids grow so fast.
They
too.
do.
That's, I know it's kind of hard on the parents sometimes.
Right, so that's why we say
Yeah.
slightly used, because the child may have wore the pants 2 or 3 months, and that's it, because they grew out of them.
Especially those knucklehead young men, you know how we don't
Right,
take care of
right.
our uniforms.
Well, yeah, on your knees and got
Yeah,
holes in
exactly.
your
Playing
knees.
football in our
Right,
uniforms.
Right.
Yeah, I'm guilty as charged of that.
Right.
Right.
Okay, Detroit. So we will take a quick break. We will be back, and when we come back, we will finish our discussion with Ms. Ross. So get a cup of coffee, tea, relax, do whatever you need to do, but come right back to make sure you join us for this discussion. So come back and join us after this break.
If you hear this message, wherever you stand, I'm calling every woman, calling every man.
District 7, vote for Regina Ross, August 8th, 2017, for City Council.
Detroit, I want to be your voice. Not about adding to the problem, it's about fixing and improving the problems. I want to improve neighborhood, businesses, employment, safety, and education.
Look forward to cleaner neighborhoods, a safer community, jobs and revenue, renovated houses, beautification, plants and gardens, and helping citizens obtain grants. Regina Ross is a community leader for the people of Detroit. District 7, vote Regina Ross for City Council, August 8th, 2017.
I'm Regina Ross, and I approve this message.
If you hear this message, wherever you stand, I'm calling every woman, calling every man.
Welcome back, Detroit. So if you're just joining us, we are interviewing our own Regina Ross, who is now running for city council. She ran in the last election for Community Advisory Council. So now she is running for city council for District 7, and we are
Alright.
so proud of her and just glad to be having this discussion because you get a chance to talk about the needs of the people. Yep. So let's begin our discussion now on the services that you want to focus on and let the community know that you are pushing and advocating in our city.
Right. Well, I will start with, most of the time when I'm out talking to people, they have the same concerns and the same needs. So they want a clean city, a safe city. Those are the major things they want. Unfortunately, it's a lot of abandoned houses, so that's an issue.
Yes.
So those are things that we are working with. Some of the other services that we are doing, now speaking of that, the board up program, if you want to board up a home, you can call our office at Ray Solomon. You can call him and he will bring the wood out to you and you can board up the home. So if you can get like 2 or 3 people to help you to board up a home in your neighborhood, the wood is free. And that's at Adam Butzel Center.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Right.
Future Councilwoman
Yes.
Regina Ross. Briefly, I was online and I heard a few things about Mike Duggan and his redevelopment program
Okay.
for the city. He mentions briefly about people or citizens wanting to the buses running better, grass being cut, and I guess maybe some banner areas or even the neighborhood parks. More police involvement, and the street lights, more else. Once again, as a future councilwoman, how do you see those categories being addressed, and are they strong concerns as far as your political?
Well, I would say
venture?
yes, because I'm out there every day with people and they bring me their concerns. So they are concerned about the lights, because the lights, where there used to be like 4 lights on the block, it may only be 3. And then at the corner near the alley, it used to be a light, and that light is not there.
So they've downsized a little bit.
Yes,
So
yes.
So what do we do? Because that doesn't make it, we have new lights, but it's not brighter.
Right, so that's something as a community council person, we will bring the community groups in. We'll
Okay.
have discussions about it, and then we'll decide what we want to do, how we want to address that, and it would probably be through petitions
Okay.
to get that.
So
make
you'll
that
have like
change.
I don't know, a town hall or neighborhood meetings or
we
something
will-
to that effect, or
We will have those. In District 7, we will definitely have a monthly meeting for the
Monthly meeting.
citizens and a
Okay.
newsletter. Because, as I tell people, if you're in the neighborhood, and this could be any neighborhood, I'm just talking about District 7 because
Okay.
that's where I'm running for city council at. But it could be any neighborhood in Detroit. You want to know what's going on.
Yes.
If you had a newsletter, it will give you the information of what's going on. And you will be able to go online also, and find out what's going on, what's available in your neighborhood, what you need to do, how you can be a part of it, how you can help, because a lot of times people want the other person to do everything for them.
Right.
But I tell them all the time, please join us, please, because we need your help. So
Yeah.
those are some things. That was with the lighting, and you mentioned,
buses.
Okay.
And
EMT.
The- now with the
EPD.
buses, I really haven't heard, I haven't heard a lot of complaints about the buses, so I can't
Okay.
really comment on that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm
understandable.
commenting on things that I'm dealing
Of
with.
course,
So
of course,
hopefully the
of
bus
course.
system is better.
Okay.
I do understand that they have new lines,
Yeah.
new
They have
bus
new lines
new
now.
timing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so that is a positive thing, I can say
I
that.
think the buses are under a revitalization, if you will. I'm going to say I don't want to mirror the DPSCD problems with the buses, but I think they're undergoing a new regime, if you will, try
Right,
to
right.
improve, because at one time the buses were They just weren't operating well.
Right, and
They-
we
you know,
are
they're
seeing
just-
improvements in the city of Detroit, so I think that that's a good thing. And I just want to be on the city council to help to continue the
Absolutely.
improvements.
Absolutely, because we're going to need that. And what about our police department, guys? Do you think we're seeing some change?
One thing, the complaint is there's not enough police in the city of Detroit.
I think we've all heard that.
So we can say
Yeah.
that, and you had mentioned about the,
Emergency.
yeah, the emergency, same thing with them. If we can hire more, then we'll have better. So we'll have better training programs. And there is a training program that has started in Detroit Public Schools. And then after they graduate from that program, they can go on and receive a job in the emergency.
Okay. Is that through Cody High School?
One of them is Cody, and I'm thinking it's another school, but I'm not for sure, but Cody is one, because they have the medical tech program.
I thought I heard something about
Right,
That's
that.
right.
awesome. You said a medical tech program? Okay.
So good changes are coming, and
Okay. They're on the horizon.
they're on the horizon, and we just want to expand that, because the biggie is employment.
Yes.
Right.
Employment. So I feel
Yes.
if we can train people, once you have training, then you can receive a job. Once you receive the job, then you can help with the economy to grow the economy, our neighborhood, the economy in the neighborhoods, and that's where you live. So that would be very important
Right.
to do.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the other things with the police, because you were asking about the police.
Yes.
Well, if we had more police, I think in the neighborhoods passing Midtown, because you have downtown, Midtown.
Okay.
Okay, you do have
Important.
the Wayne County Sheriffs, and you have the Wayne State Police there, and Henry Ford Authority, Police Authority, and then downtown you have DMC Authority.
Okay.
So if they put more emphasis on that area, then the other polices could come in Detroit, in the other neighborhoods in Detroit, and that will help until we can hire some more police.
I agree though wholeheartedly. Yeah, I guess if we just have more police officers on the force, if for nothing more than just visibility throughout
Right.
the neighborhood.
Exactly,
You know.
and if I see you in my neighborhood, I'm more comfortable, and you build a relationship, a rapport with
Absolutely.
them. And
Absolutely.
it's just better, because you can identify different things.
And like
and it makes it
Marshall,
better.
and like Marshall said earlier too, I don't know if we take for granted or gloss over sometimes, but safety is really a big issue in our neighborhoods. You know, for our younger kids who want to go out and play with, and you know, our kids, they're not in front of our house 24/7,
Right.
and we want to trust that they're safe when they go to their
Right.
friend's house a few blocks away. So that's it's a big concern.
Well, it is, because the guy that had him on the news today, he was returned home yesterday. Somebody had kidnapped him for a couple of days, so he's back home.
Oh, wow.
Praise
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good he's back
Praise God,
home,
yeah, that
but
he's
just
back
the
home.
trauma that he had to go
I
through.
can only imagine what the parents went through.
Right,
I can
yeah.
only imagine.
And then, like you're saying, with the training is important, and then also, you know, building that bridge and that gap, and make sure in community that we're doing that, because, you know, with the executive orders that have recently gone out too, that says don't be lenient on those that you arrest. So it's almost like promoting a brute. So it's kind of like we have to be very active
Yeah.
in the community, and making sure we understand when they're going through this training, what are they expected to do? You know, who is, you know, we got to keep our ears and our eyes to the, you know, to the grindstone to understand, because when things happen, then when we jump up and we go, well, how did this happen?
Right.
And, you know, so it's kind of like we have to keep abreast, and like you were saying with the services as well, and the newsletter. How do they find out about the newsletter?
Well, the newsletters for District 7, it's going to come to their home, so it's not, that
Okay.
won't be a problem.
So how do we in other districts make sure that we're getting letters like that? Because see, what we look at is when there's an issue on a community level,
Okay.
we always look up here for the answers. And it's not necessarily impossible to get the answer up there. The answer is down here.
Usually,
but
yeah.
how
I
do you
agree.
get to it? Because that's the problem a lot of times in the city. People don't know well, where do I go? Why don't I know this information? And they know they're missing a piece of this, but where do I go to get it?
Right. We've been dealing with that, and I've been finding that out as I travel as the community council person. As I travel throughout District 7, people don't know a lot. Excuse me. People don't know a lot of things about, and how do you get one?
Yeah.
You could either, your community group can start one, or maybe you can talk to your council person and they can start it.
Okay, so in every district, and the thing is, people have to understand how districts are divided up as well.
Yeah.
See, it's a lot of education in this, and understanding what we need to do, because a lot of people, we're sitting at home in our homes, and then we're going, okay, we complain.
Yes.
Right, and it doesn't go any further, so that is why I am constantly asking people to join me, and so we can make difference. We can make a difference if people join me. If you're sitting at home complaining, it's probably not going to go that far, because and I tell them too, that you're one person, but if you join us, we might be a force of 100 or more people, so we can get things done.
Okay, so that's very good to
So
know.
in numbers,
yeah.
numbers make a difference.
Well, is there a website or an information line that some of these people can go to find out? There are probably some people in the districts who really don't know who their community relations person
Exactly.
is to even start there. So is there a way that they can?
They can go
start
on
there?
the City of Detroit line, and it
Okay.
has all the information. You just have to put in what you're looking for.
Okay.
Okay,
So if
and
you hear
then-
that Detroit, you have to go on. Is that a specific website, or just that you have to Google? Or?
Just a second.
All right, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you on the spot,
No, that's
Detroit.
okay.
But I just
I
want
think I have it here.
It's in-
Excuse me.
Okay. Because we didn't need this information.
Just the City of Detroit website.
Okay, City of Detroit website. So you
Yeah,
Detroit. So if
I
you
don't
have
know if
any
you can see
questions at
that, but
all,
City of Detroit.
all right. Well, just use spell check when you go on Google City of Detroit website, and you can find out some of those
Went to the
answers
right place.
within your own
Right.
community.
Right, but
Your
it
district.
has a dashboard, and
Oh, okay.
and you can put in what you're looking for in a question box, whatever
Okay.
you're looking for. It's
Awesome.
right there for you. So it's very
Okay.
friendly, user-friendly.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, so
awesome.
if you don't see, like, in your district, that's good. You have a newsletter. In my district, I haven't seen it. So that means
Neither have I.
we have to push for those things.
Right, you
Absolutely.
can push for it, or you can ask
Absolutely.
them, can you help create it, or, you can decide, because I would think it would be better if you work together.
Exactly.
We'll make an effort, as you said. All right. I mean, collectively and collaboratively, because as you mentioned earlier, ladies, then stop complaining.
Yeah.
You can't complain because it goes no further than your own living room.
Right.
It hits the ceiling and comes back and hits the
Exactly.
ground.
Right. Right.
And with me, I'm a precinct delegate also, so that is, if you will, the bottom line, elected official, but it's the closest, as you said. If people want to go up to the top, you need to start with your precinct delegate, because that person is in your neighborhood. Most neighborhoods have one.
Okay.
One or five, it may be up to 5 people that's a precinct delegate in the neighborhoods. And that person is right in your community, and they can help you with things that you're looking for, things that you don't know about. You can ask them, and they can probably answer a lot of the questions for you, because they are involved in day-to-day activities, and they're involved in politics.
And see, and that's good to know, because a lot of people in our neighborhoods, they do not know that they have a precinct delegate.
Right.
And that person is right there.
They're
We're
unaware.
all-
In your neighborhood, they live in your
They're
neighborhood.
unaware.
Right,
They're
right.
unaware. They're
So,
unaware.
that's what I'm saying. You can't look way up here and then say the government this, and that person is right there. The first person, your first line of defense
defense,
is right there in your own
In
neighborhood.
your own neighborhood, in your own backyard.
Right, so each precinct is like where you vote is your precinct. The polling place is your precinct. Each precinct has a precinct delegate.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
So that's good to know. And then, for me, I'm very active with the 13th Congressional District, and that's part of what's going on in your district, what's going on in your part of town, because for the 13th District, we have 12 or 13 different cities inside of that.
Right.
So it's, and John Conyers is over the 13th.
Okay.
So if you live in that area, it starts with the precinct delegate, then it goes all the way up to the 13th congressional, and then if you live in this area, if you're not in the 13th congressional, you're in the 14th congressional.
Okay.
So that means you're probably on the other side of Greenfield.
Okay.
And that includes Southfield and other cities, Detroit, Southfield, other cities, the Grosse Points. And they have, I'm not sure how many cities they have, but they have probably about from 10 to 14 cities also.
Okay, Detroit, so we're educators, so we're gonna drill this.
Right.
The precinct
right,
delegate,
right.
the 13th congressional or the 14th.
Right. And then you go to their monthly meetings.
Right.
The 13th and the 14th congressional district meeting is held on the second Saturday of every month. Right. So you can find out where your person is, or you can always call me for anything. And you can call me at area code 313-310-9364. And I can answer your questions, because I've been around and active in politics for a while, so a lot of the questions I can answer for you.
All right, Detroit. Thank you, Regina, for sharing this. That's very important information.
A lot of information.
Yeah, a lot of information. We have a lot more to go, so we're going to really try to cram this in an hour. The hour goes so fast.
It does fly.
But we're going to take a brief break, and when we come back, we're going to continue with our own Regina Ross, who is running for city council, and we're going to finish talking about the needs of the people. So come back and join us,
Come on
Detroit.
back, Detroit.
If you hear this message, wherever you stand, I'm calling every woman, calling every man.
District 7, vote for Regina Ross, August 8th, 2017, for City Council.
Detroit, I want to be your voice. Not about adding to the problem, it's about fixing and improving the problems. I want to improve neighborhoods, businesses, employment, safety, and education.
Look forward to cleaner neighborhoods, a safer community, jobs and revenue, renovated houses, beautification, plants and gardens, and helping citizens obtain grants. Regina Ross is a community leader for the people of Detroit. District 7, vote Regina Ross for City Council, August 8th, 2017.
I'm Regina Ross, and I approve this message.
If you hear this message, wherever you stand, I'm calling every woman, calling every man.
Welcome back, Detroit. We are glad you are back with us. And if you're just now joining us, we are interviewing our own Regina Ross from Empowered Living, and she is running for District 7's City Council. I just got
City
so
Council.
excited.
Excited.
Excited. It's wonderful.
Got tongue-tied. We're
Yeah.
excited.
So, Regina, we left off, and you were talking about some programs and also some training. Now,
Oh, right.
there's a GED training, correct? Okay,
Right.
can you tell us more about that? And because a lot of people are, at one time I thought they were trying to cut those.
You know what, the thing
I heard
is,
that
they
too.
did cut them.
Yeah, I thought so,
At one time, actually, when I first started teaching, I taught the GED class. And with the GED class, I'm thinking, well, I'm just teaching a class. But what happened, people would come back and say, wow, I'm in college now because I've got my GED. I'm working.
Awesome.
I've got a career job
Awesome.
because of the
Awesome.
GED. So with that, throughout the years, people have been contacting me, and I still do it on the side when I have the time, and usually it's during the school year. Maybe I better not announce that, but but usually it's during the school year on Fridays. I usually have adults give them the material and teach a class on Fridays. So again, if you're interested in that, it's during the school year, so you have to call, and the classes are usually on Friday and on the weekends. So we don't have a regular time yet, but you can always call me. Remember the number. You're going to remember it in a minute. Area code 313-310-9364. and that's for the GED classes and the adult education classes. We also do and this is part of Carrie's Corner. I didn't mention that.
Oh, okay.
And we also have job trainings. Well, what we do, we simulate an interview for you and how you should act on a job, because people, you think they know, but these are things that you don't necessarily know. So we're there to help you. And then when we were talking about Carrie's Corner before and the clothes giveaway, well, with that, we make sure that they have a nice suit to wear on the interview, or well, women and men, both of them are usually suits, because we want a blazer for the women, and the men have on a suit jacket.
I think that's awesome. I think that's getting people I guess the mock interviews. if
Right,
you will.
right. We do.
I think that's really important, how to enhance a person's skill.
Right, and it's funny because when they first come in, they're like,
They're rigid.
yeah.
Rigid,
But then
rigid.
they can laugh at themselves, and and that means that they know what they were doing wrong.
Right.
So it's really,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so it's really nice to see how they come from the beginning to the end of the program. So those are the application, filling out an
Right,
application.
right,
Oh,
right,
the resume writing.
Oh, okay.
Because that sounds easy, but writing resumes to most people
Right.
is probably not easy, especially if you don't have that much experience. And I do like to help them write their resumes, because when I help them with the resumes, things that they didn't think they had in the experience, I can stretch it and bring it out and explore it and show. See, you do have the skill.
Try to highlight that.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
try to highlight
right.
it if you
Because it's
can.
just a matter of bringing it out. People think, on the surface, they think, well, I can't do this, I can't. You've done a lot in life. If you've lived 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, you've done a lot in life.
You have some
So-
experience.
Right, you're right.
You do have some
Yeah,
experience.
it's
to
just you're
draw
probably
from.
looking over the little things or things you just kind of think, oh, I just
Yeah.
did that. And
Right,
then you don't
right.
think, well, it's really no, complexity to it, and find out, you know what, those are skills they actually look for
Right,
in the
right.
corporate world.
Right, and speaking of that, let me change it a little bit. Let me go right into
Yeah.
this. For District 7, and this can be all over the city, but again, I'm running for City Council in District 7, and I am the community council person in District 7, so I do have great concerns about my constituents in District 7. So, what we're doing, we're interested in the food and gardening program.
Right.
So we have different locations for that. And what I want to do is to get a grant, and with the grant, we're going to get grass, dirt, cement to beautify the outside of the homes, and paint. And then the food and gardening, because people can grow their own food.
Okay.
So that can help and make a difference. And the other thing is, food that you grow is very healthy for you.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, so that's another benefit.
It's organic.
Right, of that. And then you always have food.
Right. And there are organizations out there that are willing to work, and I know we're partnering with one young lady. Her name is Crystal Ridgway.
Okay.
And she started her organization, and she's reaching out to the schools and communities.
Right.
So, and you've spoken with her
Right,
as well,
right.
with the hydroponics, which is growing the food cleaner, where it's not just coming up through the soil, but it's
Right.
coming up through the hydroponic system, where actually no pesticides, none of that.
So it's
And
irrigated and.
It's yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's awesome.
that's
So,
awesome.
so there's people out there, but like you said, with the grants, that's frustrating. I know myself, I have heard about grants, and then you go to get them, and it's like, oh, they're gone. It's like, well, I just heard about it last week. Where does money go? So how often should we be looking for grants,
well-
or how do we, because that is just really,
They're limited sometimes.
Yeah, it's-
Well, they are, but the thing for me with City Council, I'm going to have a grant writer. And with the grant writer, that will be their job, to
Okay.
find us grants. So any grants and all grants, we will accept, and we will use them in District 7 to make District 7 a better place.
okay,
And that can be, again, for any community, like you were saying.
right.
What about your community?
Right.
So, yes, that is the thing that I'm going to do. Instead of trying to find the grants, because they are hard to find,
Yeah.
and for the average person, they are hard to find. But if you have a grant writer, that's their specialty.
Right.
So that's what we're going to have, and she or he will be writing the grants for us.
Okay. So with the, should we, in our community, how do you get started with the community gardens? Because, you know, the clearing and making sure you're allotted that area to grow. How do you go about that?
Well, again, the city of Detroit has a program with the water and gardening system, and I think you would probably contact them if you
Okay.
wanted to get started. And then some people just start their own, and in District 7, some places they have the house next, where there was a house next door to them, and they started a garden. So we use some of their products too, because one thing about it, when you start growing foods, it grows and grows
Right.
and grows and multiplies. So that's where we get a lot of our food from the different residents.
Okay. Can you talk to us about the neighborhood grant? Has it changed? Is it still the neighborhood grant, or has it turned to a loan?
Well, it's called, I don't know the title of it, but now they want you to take out, instead of just granting you the money, it would be a loan, because you take out so much money to fix up your home. But the problem with that is a lot of people can't afford those.
Exactly.
Right. So that's why I said for District 7 that I would like to get as many grants as possible, because that will help us to beautify and help make our neighborhoods look better, our homes look better. When you're walking down the streets, you want to see beauty. I go to other
Yes.
cities, it looks real nice.
Right.
And I live in District 7, I live in Detroit. I love Detroit, so if that's the need that we have, that's what we'll do. We'll get started there. We can start with paint, flowers, dirt, plants. Yeah. So like I said, when we get the grant money, we'll do that in abundance. But right now, we're using what we have from different people, and it's still free.
Okay. All right. Because I know a lot of people, they'll get started, but the one thing they don't have is the natural or organic fertilizer.
Right. Now, we don't have that.
Okay.
We don't have that, but I want to talk to Crystal about getting that.
Right.
Because that sounds wonderful. That really sounds great. But we just use what we have.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm saying it that way is people think, okay, well, that's another excuse. I don't have this, so I can't do it. Yes, you can. We can do it with the regular soil that we use that's in the ground.
Right.
Yeah,
And
but
find
that
some compost.
organic soil will be good, and it will help us to probably live longer, because we'll be healthier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Okay, so we are going to, another break is upon us. It goes by so fast, and we have some more information for you. So we're going to take a quick break, Detroit, and then we want you to come back and finish up this wonderful interview that we are having with Regina this morning. So glad she's sharing all this information. So wonderful that her heart is so big that she just wants to do so much. You know, people tell me I don't know how I sleep. I don't know how you sleep.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. Right. When do you sleep?
Right.
Well, I fall asleep, and then the next thing I know, the clock is alarming.
You take a lot of naps. and
Right.
sleep.
Right.
That was power naps, right? All right, Detroit. So take a quick break with us, come back, and we're going to finish up this wonderful interview with Regina.
If you hear this message, wherever you stand, I'm calling every woman, calling every man. We're the generation.
District 7, vote for Regina Ross, August 8th, 2017, for City Council.
Detroit, I want to be your voice. Not about adding to the problem, it's about fixing and improving the problem. I want to improve neighborhoods, businesses, employment, safety, and education.
Look forward to cleaner neighborhoods, a safer community, jobs and revenue, renovated houses, beautification, plants and gardens, and helping citizens obtain grants. Regina Ross is a community leader for the people of Detroit. District 7, vote Regina Ross for City Council August 8th, 2017.
I'm Regina Ross, and I approve this message.
If you hear this message, wherever you stand, I'm calling every woman, calling every man. We're the generation, we can't afford to wait. The future started yet.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us and coming back for this interview with our own Regina Ross. Regina is running for City Council for District 7. She has won the last election for Community Advisory Council. So Regina, we left off and we were talking about community gardens and some things in your neighborhood, how to get beautification. Another area that is a concern in the city is the water and sewage.
Yes.
Okay, I hear that a lot. Unfortunately, you probably won't like the answer. The water and sewage is authority now, and that means that we don't have control of that. We, as the city of Detroit, we don't control that anymore. Anytime the word authority is in front, and this is very important because most people don't realize that, the authority is called the Water Authority, so we don't have the power to just change and move things the way we want it to be done. It has to go through the different people in different counties because it's authority, not just Detroit. So a lot of it is red tape because of that.
Yeah, sounds like it.
But again, as citizens, if we work together and people in power, groups make the power, and we can still change things. But for you to just say you want to go down and you don't like how your bill looks, it's not going to be a lot done for you. But if you get in groups, in our community groups of hundreds, we can go down and we can make difference in anything.
Yeah, and that's something that we need to do because a lot of people are affected by the bills. First of all, it's the bill. Then you have people that with the shutoffs, and it's like, okay, they're right at that shutoff, so then they go and they try to pay it, and then it's like some type of rigmarole, and it's a lot of back and forth. It's so much
I've heard
back
a lot
and
of horror stories of people going down there.
Yeah.
Well, I had one.
I mean, unfortunately, and I guess we don't want to just continuously harp on the water department. I mean, they're human, they're employees, so I guess maybe they have to take a look at their own infrastructure and see how they can provide the citizens with a better system, because like I said, I've been hearing this from a few friends or some other church members of mine who have gone down there, and all of them come back and tell them that the reports are not good.
Oh yeah, I like I was saying, I had gone down myself, and the report was not good. I came home one day and the water wasn't on, so I called and I said, well, what happened to that money I sent? And she was like, well, hold on for a minute. Then she found, oh, okay, you paid that $100. But my water was off. So I still had to go down and physically go down and get it cut back on. And they did not cut it back on because by the time I left there, it was 6 o'clock. So that means overnight, I didn't have water. So, and then for me, that was just overnight. Can you imagine if you really didn't have the money or you hadn't paid, you really hadn't paid the bill? So mine was a mistake. So that was awful.
But even still, you know, just to think when you went down and then, so think of the seniors, think of the disabled.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So it's kind of like whatever we do, live with it. So is it a matter of we should get together as a community, have a community town hall, categorize exactly what all the issues are, and then when you say the authority, you know, a lot of people that go down and you standing in front of the customer service person who is just taking the money in and out or whatever, or reading what's in front of them on a computer. But who's the authority that we need to be talking to? See, I want to get to the person that has decided this is the
Gotta
authority.
making these decisions.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to continue to make the decisions if we don't speak up in groups. So, like I said, the authority is a group of people. Some of them are from Detroit, some are from Oakland County, some are from Macomb County. So it makes that makes a difference. But if we don't speak up, they can continue to do what they feel is right. And what they feel is right might not necessarily be right for me, because I live in the city of Detroit, so my needs and concerns might be different from theirs in different counties.
Right.
So, what kind of forum should they establish to speak up?
I agree
How-
with
how would they-
Marshall, a town hall. I think that would be good, a town hall.
Town hall meeting? Okay.
And then before you have your town hall meeting, what you would do is have your regular different community groups, your regular block
see.
clubs, your
Okay.
regular associations, and you get them all involved. And then once they meet and they have their little paper, like you said, okay, this is what we want, then you come together to the town hall meeting. And then that's when you make the final decisions, what need to be done based on everybody's needs.
So how do we get to, because I don't want to be standing in front of the customer service person. They can't help me, other than just taking the money for the bill.
Plus, you understand, they're overwhelmed too.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
overwhelmed.
You know,
Yeah.
there's 100, because when you go down there, it's like over 100 people sitting there with numbers.
Waiting.
Right.
They're
waiting.
mad. They got their
Frustrated.
kids,
Exactly.
so
Exactly.
everybody got an attitude when you walk in there. First
Right.
of all,
That's right.
it's
Right.
not a
You already met with the defiant.
right.
Right.
So
you
you-
know,
so you
I try
walk
to
in.
find the nice look like she a praying lady ready to sit
Right.
next to.
Someone that's cordial.
Right. So who do we go to outside of that one department? That's the thing. People don't know where to go.
Okay, if you're looking at it from that perspective, that part is the city of Detroit,
Okay.
where you go and pay your bills. That's that's the city of Detroit, so you can talk to someone who's over that department, or you can go all the way up to the mayor, because he's over all departments in
Okay.
Detroit, city of
So it
Detroit.
might be best to go to the mayor, because see, sometimes it gets frustrating too when you get in there and then you get transferred to this person, then this person.
Oh,
and
yeah,
they
you get
tell
tossed
Oh,
around.
no,
Right.
that's not me, that's not my
get
job.
tossed
You know, by the
around,
time you hear
right.
that's not my job.
But
Now you're frustrated.
right,
Yeah.
but as you said before, you start at the bottom, then you work your way up. If you went through all the channels,
Right.
and then you would wind up with the mayor.
Yeah, right,
But
okay.
I wouldn't call him first.
Right, okay. Yeah, and the thing is, it does take time.
And the reason why I'm saying I wouldn't call him first is because that's not his job to do
Right.
whatever the person that he's paying to do.
Exactly,
Yeah.
okay.
So when it gets to him, it should have been taken care of already.
Right, because he's looking at it like, why is this even on my desk? And
Right,
it hasn't
right.
even gone through the channels. Okay, so that's the thing we have to understand. It does take time. It does you have to have a plan. We're all
Right.
fussing in our communities, but we have to follow the protocol.
Come out to the meetings.
Well, see, the thing is, everybody doesn't, okay, in every district, it's not clear what these meetings are. It's
Okay.
just, I mean, and that's the
Yeah.
honest to God's truth.
Right.
It's not clear who's holding the meeting, who's doing the meeting. Then by the time you hear, if you hear about it, sometimes it's already done and it's over with.
Well,
So we got to get better with this communication.
Well, that's
Yeah.
true. That's why I was talking about the newsletter, the communication, the newsletter, and the other thing is bringing the people together. And in District 7, some blocks do not have block clubs. This
Right.
is everywhere in the city of Detroit. But in District 7, we're going to have a District 7 block club. So you will be in a block club.
Right,
So
right.
maybe other districts can do that also.
Okay, so, and I thank you for your tenacity and for what you are doing, and you're taking this and saying this is what we need to do, because we in Power Living, this is what our mission and our goal is.
Absolutely.
Right.
But what we
Absolutely.
need to do is get more people that are in these positions, like you say, somebody is in your community that's a
Right.
delegate. We need the delegates to be out there to say, hey, I'm the delegate,
Right.
Yeah.
I do this, and we're not seeing that in our
Right, and
communities.
then they do need to identify themselves too.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And for me, that would be something that I would do, bring them together, so people would know who they are.
right,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
So, I mean, there is help out there. It's just, if you're at home, you don't know that that help is out there, and you're getting frustrated. So it's a lot of good things coming down the pipes.
Okay. Well, yeah, and you're working really hard, and you're going to make sure you're not one of these people that just talk. And Regina is not a
That's
talker.
right.
Regina
She's
is
a
a
woman of
doer.
action.
She's a woman of action, yes.
Yes,
And
Right.
we love
action.
people like that.
Absolutely.
You know, so.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, and then that's the thing, because I've been doing it all the time. It's not like, okay, I'm going to run for city council, and then I'm going to do something when I get in office. It's just a continuation.
As it should be.
Yes.
As
Right.
it should be. As it should
Okay.
be.
Well, Detroit, we have come to the end of our show. It has just flown by.
Yes, it has. What a chock full of information, too.
Yeah.
For our next councilwoman.
For our
Right.
next councilwoman,
Not
yes.
city councilwoman.
We have more information. Regina will be continually sharing more information because she's here every time we air on Empowered Living, and you know that's what we do as educators, as community people in our community. We're not just talkers; we are people that are connecting with people in the community. Regina is doing an awesome job. Loris as well is doing awesome and doing some great things. So
Thank you.
we are going to end right there, but join us next time on Empowered Living. Detroit, we want you to stay blessed, stay empowered, and just get out there and let's just connect as a community.
If you hear this message, wherever you stand, I'm calling every woman, calling every man. We're the generation, we can't afford to wait. The future started yesterday, and we're already late.